warm welcome. You're watching the daily edition of Your Trades on ET Now. This is Priyanka Uppal and along with me is Srishti today. Srishti, it looks like as if it's a normal thing that we're breaking records every day. It's just nothing new. Yet another record level. But then today was a day of consolidation. Nifty did made another all-time high. It crossed 24,400. Though it's stayed above 24,300. But then the kind of consolidation we saw on Nifty stocks, though there were many sectors which were up, banks were kind of settling down today. Profit booking was clearly seen on HDFC Bank, even some of the PSU names, RBL Bank, Federal Bank, Bandhan Bank, they all were trading with more than 1% of cut. Even Bajaj Finance, quarter one update came in, but then the stock was lower by 2%. On the flip side, if you see the export-dominated sector, Pharma space, IT space, they were clearly where the bulls were participating. IT stocks, auto sector, these were the top gainers for the space. And let's not forget, the Nasdaq is already making higher levels. The growth stocks are completely back in action globally also, and that's what we saw on Indian exchanges also. IT space and large cap IT names like HCL Tech, the top gainers, the top 5 gainers on Nifty, half of them were from IT pack. Some of them were from Pharma pack, and of course, the third largest space was Auto pack. Broader markets, mid cap, small cap, both were up by 0.5%. Brokerage note clearly on Lupin lifted the sentiment for the stock, and not just for the stock, entire sector. They've increased the target price to 1,800 now, and the biggest rationale which this brokerage note covers is that robust earning outlook, and that's what the street is also cheering about for the entire Pharma pack. It seems the way Pharma stock has moved in today. But clearly the kind of move we saw, Srishti, on Mascon Dock, small cap, logged in 20% upper circuit. The stock has crossed 1 lakh crore market cap also. This stock has clearly surprised, has been a huge wealth creator, and there's no stopping.
Well, certainly, Priyanka, there's no stopping every time we talk about the valuations, but these counters continue to surprise us because there's a lot of news around that all these order books of the company are holding pretty well. Other than that, expectation related to budget, all these factors continue to build that optimism. And yet again, stock like Mascon Dock, even Cochin Shipyard, Garden Shipbuilders, they were all doing fairly well in today's trading session. Other than that, we also had our eyes on the IPO market as well, when Bansal as well as MQ Pharma have been booked more than 3 times as per the subscription data. But other than that, we also got you an exclusive over the day, wherein sources tell us that over 9,000 crore rupees has been pegged for the LPG subsidy. But with this, viewers, apart from the top headlines, coming back to the benchmark indices and the stock-specific action on the trading front, what should one expect and where are we headed from here on? Let's understand the dynamics then. And for this, we are being joined by Aditya Arora of Addy Lake. Aditya, hi, very good afternoon and thank you so much for your time. Firstly, on the index level, Aditya, there's been no stopping for the Nifty 50, though for the banking index, it has been a pretty volatile in today's trading session. So at this point, when we see Aditya, FIS long is seeing no stopping as well. How do you see markets headed for the next week or so? Because on Friday, how do you see the market movement could be?
Very good afternoon, Shrishti. I think markets are volatile, but there's a lot more to cheer about market because a lot of things are happening on the global front. Yesterday we saw a massive rally in international market, whether you talk about Nasdaq, S&P 500. So on back of very strong global cues, we are inching higher every day, and FIs are truly backing it every day. FIs are not covering their long positions. They are completely supporting the rally with good volumes. So I think institutions are long, global sentiments are good. Although Indian markets are stretched, but that's how bull markets are. They're always stretched. They are always, overextended, but that's where the real money is. Right now, I see market being neutral to bullish. I'm not bearish on the market. I'm neutral to bullish on the market. Tomorrow, data will come out in the USA. And on 11th also, we have data regarding inflation data in USA. So I'm expecting positive development over there, as in inflation could come lower than expected, which could again, put Fed in a tight position to cut the rates. Now, actually, forward rate cut market is expecting 73% probability of rate cut in September. So that's very positive for the emerging market, and I think the market trend is truly bullish, and one should look for opportunity to buy the market at dips or even at higher levels.
Connected with the global factors also, though we'll have cues on Monday from the US markets being closed today, and important jobs report, what you're mentioning, that will come on Friday. But then how to trade right now Indian markets? Yes, we are in overbought zone. There are stretch, you can see that a kind of consolidation phase. The whole day went in consolidation phase only for both the indices. But then there would be certain trades where viewers can make money. What are your recommendations today?
On the index front, I think there isn't a breakout trade, but there's always an opportunity to ride the trend within a bullish trend. So one can keep bigger stop loss and ride the trend on the index level also. And one more important point which I want to put forward is that HDFC usually trades in a range. So now, right now, HDFC achieved the upper band of the range. So I don't expect outperformance over there. So probably that could have some influence on Bank Nifty, but ICICI Bank can outperform. So trend could be more significant on the Nifty front. That's on the index level. And if we talk about stock specific, then I would be bullish on ICICI Bank, as I said previously. So that's a buy at 1233, and 1205 would be the stop loss, and 1263 to 1283 would be the target. And my second stock is from Pharma space. We saw good action in Pharma space today, and I think that rally could continue. This is not a trade for tomorrow, but for a few weeks. So on that front, Lupin is a buy at 1760, 1690 is the stop loss, and 1850 is the target.
Right on the banking stocks, and he's named up heavyweight ICICI Bank, and the second counter, which was the key counter, Lupin, from the pharma space. That's his two bets coming in from. Thanks very much, Aditya, for both the recommendation. Now we move on to Srishti. Srishti has brought us some key stocks wherein she's figuring out a breakout structures. Srishti, what is it? Is it again from pharma?
Well, certainly, because just yesterday we did highlight FDC for our viewers that this stock is one of the breakout candidates. That stock did pretty well, but for today, it's Laurus Lab on the charts where we did spot a breakout. What you can see on the charts that every time the stock has been facing resistance around 450 odd levels. In today's trading session, the stock did manage to break above those levels, but whenever a stock actually breaks its key resistance with a strong green candle, by a strong green candle I mean that the stock starts at a certain level and throughout the day it builds on to the gains and actually ends at the day's highest point, that is considered to be seen as a strong buying interest from all the buyers out there, and hence we are seeing that the stock managed to move above its key resistance level, taking a bounce exactly from its 20-day moving average, as well as the whole sector tailwind, at least for today, was certainly there, and that's why we highlight that Laurus Lab is one of the breakout candidates that we have spotted. Moving on to the next counter then, and that is NBCC. There's been no stopping for this particular counter as well, but look at the long-term chart. You will see that the stock had its resistance at 175 rupees. It's been a long while that the stock once again managed to cross above those levels. It was indeed supported by a long build-up. If you see, then it's the third consecutive day that NBCC is seeing good buying interest, bounced from its 20-day moving average, and hence we are spotting this counter too on the breakout side. So these are the two stocks. Back to you.
All right, so viewers, make a note of it. Laurus Lab and NBCC, that's where the patterns seen on the bullish side. That's what Srishti brought in for you. But now let's get your word from the wise. From Carlinian Asset Management, we did speak to Vikas Khemani today, and the kind of sector rotation, what Street is noticing, that is visible in his conviction also. He's added pharma stocks for the first time. He's mentioned in his portfolio in last 5 years, and he's also turned bullish on pharma stocks and has added large cap IT stocks also in the portfolio. Let's listen into what is the reason that he's strongly bullish on these sectors.
I think we added the consumer first time in last 5 years, in last couple of months, which I think done well. We've been reasonably positive on pharma. We've been reasonably positive on IT. We've been very positive on IT. We added IT, more in last, especially in some of the larger names. We've been always positive on IT, and we added our weight in last couple of months. I think IT continues to remain very positive. Especially, I think it's also a play on the interest rates coming down in US, recovery happening in US. So as the IT spends play out there. But in general, I see, even IT companies playing a reasonably good role in the entire AI related disruption.
All right, moving on. And after Nomura came out with a note claiming to be turning bullish on the Indian IT, we caught up with Abhishek Bhandari, who is the Executive Director, Technology and Internet and Equity Research at Nomura India. Let's listen into his rationale behind the upgrade.
The basis of our upgrade right now is the proprietary G2000 database, what we maintain, wherein we track the revenue growth outlook of the largest 2000 companies in the world by revenues, who cumulatively form around 80% of global tech budgets. Now, when we had downgraded the sector in May 2022, we saw early signs of revenue slowing down, leading to a cut in discretionary demand. And now we are seeing some signs of stabilization in those revenues, for those companies, which makes us believe that the further bad news on the discretionary cut may not happen. And the same database, throws up an interesting data that the revenue growth for these enterprises are expected to rise to almost 4% after declining 1% in calendar 24 to around plus 4% in calendar 25. So to us, the bad news from a revenue decline or revenue negative surprise perspective is largely over, which means that the EPS cut cycle for the sector should, largely be over now. And hence it makes, sense for the investors to relook at the sector.
Okay, that's the view coming in from Nomura on IT Pack. We stay for a short break here. More to come. When we come back, we get you from the action from the derivative space, the big story, and the other buzzing stories. Welcome back. You're watching Your Trades, and now the action from the derivative service. We did see the index crossing 24,400, but therein where the pressure came in, and these are the strikes where maximum of the call writing has happened. 24,400, 24,500, and these are now immediate resistance also. Support, though, has risen now. It is at 24,200, and there was some mild put writing also, which took place at 24,300 strike also. So we can probably have a range of 24,200 to 24,400. That's what the derivative data says.
All right, so that's about the derivatives. But one such stock from the F&O space was clearly the star performer today, and that was Lupin. But that was on the back of a Kotak double upgrade coming in on this particular counter. But what is Kotak highlighting, and why are they bullish on Lupin? Let's go across to Ashesha to find all of that. Ashesha?
Well, yes, Lupin clearly was the stock of the day. It ended the day nearly 8% higher on the back of double upgrade that came in from Kotak Securities table, where they went ahead and upgraded the stock to add from their earlier sell rating. They also revised the target price upwards from 1400 to 1805 rupees per share on the back of prospects of a positive outlook going forward. So they say that the party is expected to continue. They have very robust outlook with respect to earnings going forward, and hence they've also gone ahead and raised their EPS estimates by anywhere between 3 to 12% for the period FY 25 to 27 on the back of improving US sales and also on the back of EBITDA margin expansion that the company is expected to report. They also expect a US trajectory to continue in FY 25 and 26, and they are also very positive with respect to some of their drug launches. So on the back of this double upgrade that came in from Kotak Securities to add rating with a revised target price of 1805 rupees per share, Lupin was gaining nearly 8% by the end of today's trading session.
Lupin, which was wanted to the moon today, 8% up. Thanks very much, Ashesha, for all that detail on the stock. Moving on, Bajaj Finance is 1 to 2 quarters away from being the top pick in this space. This is what Digant Harya, co-founder for Green Edge Wealth, has to say. Let's listen into what exactly he has gathered on this entire space and the stock he tracks. That is Bajaj Finance.
Bajaj Finance typically, RBI has not been very soft on the whole retail lending pack. If you look at the regulatory tightening action, which started with, HDFC Bank being barred from credit cards, and then a lot of institutions were, punished or, given warnings by the RBI. So see, one is we are not yet over on that front, as in, the retail part of overheating and RBI getting comfort with the KYC and the retail lending practices. I think there is still a quarter or two more before that happens. Second is Bajaj Finance. There's a lot of deposit repricing that is happening in Bajaj Finance. So while the growth is good, there's absolutely no complaint. I think margins will be a little soft this quarter, specifically, and that is why probably Bajaj Finance does not react to these growth numbers. And it's not just this quarter; it has not been reacting to good growth numbers for many quarters. But having said that, I think there's 3 years of time consolidation which has happened. The earnings and the new businesses, the new products have started contributing. So I think we are just 1 or 2 quarters away from where Bajaj Finance should actually become the best pick in the financial space amongst the large caps.
All right, we're moving on and talking about Bajaj Finance is 1 to 2 quarters away from being the top space. But apart from Bajaj Finance, which counters were buzzing actually? Let's get all of that details from Gaurav, who is joining us to highlight the stocks that were in news.
Well, yes. Let's begin with Inox Wind, because now promoters have infused almost 900 crore rupees in the business and company has now become debt free. And on the back of this news, we saw the stock increase almost 10% in a trade today. Next, let's talk about NBCC, because there is an order win for 36 crore rupees for construction of incubator center in Patna. But at the same time, if you look at the stock performance, that has hit its all-time high, and volumes also increased almost 4 times higher than the 50-day average volumes. And on the back of this, we will definitely watch out for NBCC as well. Next, let's talk about GE T&D, because company got an order for supply and supervision of high voltage products with an execution time of around 2 years from 2 countries. The first order is from Dubai, worth 26 million euros, and the second order is from France, worth 64 million euros. And on the back of this news, we saw the stock traded in green today. Next, let's talk about ITD Cementation, because promoter Italian Thai Development Company is exploring options for potential divestment from the company. And if you look at the stock performance also, it tanked almost 15% in today itself. Lastly, let's also watch out for Aavas Financials, because as per sources, both the promoters, Kedara Capital and Partners Group, are exploring option for fully exit from the company. Let's not forget that in March also, these companies had divested around 12.6% stake worth 1369 crore rupees from the company. And if you look at the stock today, it tanked almost 4%. So definitely watching out on these counters in coming days as well.
All right, thanks very much, Gaurav, for listing down all the stocks that were buzzing in trade today. Well, that's all in this edition of Your Trades. Thanks so much for watching. But for more updates, business-related, non-business, stay tuned.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.